Hello everyone, Daphne here with a video titled, Where in the World is Bumthang? First, I have to say how much I love the country of Bhutan, which is where this interesting named city is located. One reason is that the people there are so incredibly friendly. I love the ancient buildings. The architecture is spectacular. The countryside is amazing because Bhutan is a tiny kingdom tucked right in the middle of the Himalaya mountains. And it just takes your breath away. It's not a very big country it's sort of sandwiched in between China and India, but it is charming in every sense of the word, and I absolutely adored my trip there. It was probably one of my most favorite trips ever. This video will be featuring some of the special experiences during one of our stops, a place not many people have ever heard of, and that would be Bumthang. The day we arrived, we literally started our day that day by hiking. And I enjoy walking through the countryside and just absorbing the surroundings that were around us. Our eventual goal was to get to a temple, an ancient temple in Bumthang. But along the way, along our route, we ran across a group of old ladies, and they were just as friendly and fun to be with as they could be, even though we couldn't communicate. It was just hand language. They seemed to understand that I wanted to have my picture taken with them. So we had our picture taken together, and they were absolutely fascinated by looking at the image inside this camera, instantly seeing it. I don't believe they had ever laid their eyes on a digital camera before. Look at the lady with the little pink scarf on. She has got her mouth wide open. She can't believe it. One thing I had wished so much at that moment was that I'd had a second camera, a Polaroid camera, so I could have left them with the image. Oh, but they were just so darling, and I had so much fun interacting with them. One of the joys of just getting out and being free and going with the flow. You just never know what's going to happen. Another thing that was just beautiful all over Bhutan were the many temples and dzungs. These ancient buildings had the most incredible architecture, and the details were amazing. Here's a famous temple in Bumthang, which I thought was just lovely. So I had to have my picture taken in front of it, of course. The people of Bhutan are very religious, and I think it's reflected in all the things that we saw, the prayer flags everywhere, the chortens, the little mani stones, all the little religious symbols were prevalent throughout Bhutan. And even though the roads through Bhutan were like, I don't think I've ever seen so many roads with potholes. I can tell you in no uncertain terms, all the driving we did all over this country was well worth it. It is just charming from beginning to end. I just can't tell you how much I enjoyed Bhutan. While we were in Bumthang, we stayed at an absolutely fabulous hotel. I mean, it was luxury in the first quality, high quality, luxury quality, whatever you want to call it. It was gorgeous and comfortable. And after a day of hiking and getting out and about, they had a spa where you could go and get a massage. It was just a beautiful, beautiful hotel, and very sort of calm and spiritual. And right across from it was a monastery. And one afternoon, we spotted this monk in the window, and he caught my eye. I took a picture, and as he smiled, he gave me a thumbs up. And I just thought that was the most wonderful, expressive picture. An animated monk in the window in the middle of nowhere, Bhutan. Well, I guess to the people of Bumthang, it's not the middle of nowhere. It's a very special place. And I too believe that the town is very, very special. I loved our visit there. Another thing we did, which was fun, was dart throwing. That is a very, very important sport in Bhutan. And I wound up as hard as I could with that dart and threw it as far as I could. But unfortunately, my distance was not good enough to win the competition. But I was up against some pretty husky men, so no wonder. But I gave it my all, and it was just a great afternoon of very stiff competition. Well, those are the highlights of being in Bumthang, and here I am back at the airport, ready to depart. And one thing that is just incredible, look at the architecture in this building. This is a little tiny terminal, Bumthang terminal, and look at the exquisite detail in this building. I was just, my eyes were blown away when I saw what a gorgeous little piece of architecture right there, out there in the middle of literally, well, I'm not going to say out in the middle of nowhere because the people that live there probably think it's not there, not out in the middle of nowhere, but it was a rural terminal, let's put it that way. So our flight from Bumthang to Thimphu, Bhutan, the capital of Bhutan, was uneventful. When we arrived in Thimphu, we walked along the streets and window shopped, so to speak, although we didn't do any real shopping, although I did buy a pair of authentic Bhutanese boots, absolutely exquisitely embroidered, very interesting looking with the toe going up at the end. We went and put on ancient masks. That was a lot of fun. And one interesting statistic about Thimphu is, would you believe that they do not have one single traffic light? They were thinking about putting one in, but the townspeople got up in arms, so they quickly decided against it. On the really busiest intersection, they have a policeman standing on this stand in the middle of the 4 streets that converge, and he waves them on. And as far as we know, there are very few automobile accidents in Thimphu. Okay, so we're walking along the streets, and we came across these 3 monks at a cell phone store. For some reason, this image amused me. I don't usually think of monks as buying cell phones, but according to friends of mine that have been in other places around that area, all the Buddhist monks have cell phones. I thought they devoted themselves away from society by living alone in a community full-time, a full-time dedication to religious life. But that was not the way it was in Bhutan. Perhaps there were monks like that, but we saw the ones that were out and about, and they were all friendly. They would all wave or nod, and that always gave me such a big kick. I loved all of them. And that pretty much sums up a quick tour through a town in Bhutan, along with a quick description of the capital. But one thing before I go, I want to say is that you will not believe how many beautiful buildings there are in the country of Bhutan. One doesn't have to drive far, and you can see one beautiful structure after another with all kinds of painted details, inlaid wood, different colors, absolutely exquisite. And they have an ancient art school there that continues to teach the students of modern times how to do these ancient arts so that they will never be lost in Bhutan. And I think that is just a wonderful thing. So that comes to the end of my post, but I can tell you another thing for sure, and that is, and I absolutely love Bhutan. I would love to go back there. But unfortunately, there are so many other places in the world I want to see. I doubt I'll get a chance to go back there. But how I enjoyed looking at these pictures again and remembering that spectacular trip. Now, why don't you all come along and join me on many more adventures in my Facebook group, Second Half Travel Adventures. We believe that anybody with a desire to travel should have the ability to do so whenever and wherever they so choose. And we also believe that creating an online business can provide an abundance of resources for more world travel. And that's what I do, and that's what I want to share with you. And just remember this, the only trip you'll regret is the one you don't take.